Well, I've talked about swim bladder before, but we're going to talk about it again because Piggy has had an exacerbation of swim bladder. So I said when I got Piggy that Piggy has floaty issues because one, she's got an upswept tail. Two, she was stunted and kept in a 10-gallon. When I put Geezer in the upper tank to treat, I moved Piggy down one level, and the 40s that are on the ground are the coldest ones. I've said before there's a couple things that can exacerbate swim bladder. Poor carb diet that can cause constipation, can put pressure on the swim bladder. An overweight goldfish, water depth, water pressure, different levels tanks can cause issues with fish. Cold, being egg filled. So when a fish has swim bladders, that stuff can make it worse. So changing those things can make it better. So we are moving Piggy into one of I picked up two 20-gallon tanks in the recent Petco $1 per gallon. So Piggy's going into a shallow 20-gallon with a heater. We're going to do just some straight Rapashi Soylent Green for a couple days. And if that doesn't help, we'll try some Epsom salt because that can help pull fluid and swelling if there is any. And see if we can't unswim bladder exacerbate Piggy. So there's differences between, this is what a swim bladder fish looks like. They can't right themselves. And I've gone on the forum a lot about how you have to be careful. If you have a nitrate fish, they will act kind of swim bladdery at times, and then better, and then worse, and then finally worsening, and top float or bottom float. A swim bladder fish never rights itself really, and will always have some kind of issue. So we're gonna see if we can't treat Piggy and turn her back around. But yes, this is what a true swim bladder fish looks like. You can see how she always butt tilts up. And the big issue is when they spend too much time at the top, they can open sores. So here we have Piggy after his swim bladder exacerbation. So those are the interventions that you need to do if you have a fish that has known swim bladder issues and starts top floating. I just moved him into the shallowest tank I have with a heater, warmed up the water, fasted for a couple days, and then fed straight Soylent Green gel food, not even the gold, just straight the veggie stuff, and gave him time. So Piggy can probably go back into a 40. I'm just gonna have to keep the temperature a little warmer because it's kind of like I think of it as air in the tire. You know, when it gets cold, that air I can't remember, but it doesn't expand, it deflates. So I'm not exactly sure how, but cold just affects swim bladder fish. So they can't have it really cold. I had an Oranda and a butterfly before that didn't have really bad swim bladder issues, but as soon as the temp in my stock tank ponds would get cold, they would start going top floating. So and this is just also one of the reasons why, one, I won't, you know, keep an eye on my fish and won't sell the ones that have upswept tails. And it is also very important that you give fish room to grow, because there's this discussion that possibly the organs continue to try and grow and then compress the swim bladder. I'm not exactly sure if that's true, but I do know stunted fish do end up a lot of times with swim bladder issues. So, alright, so Piggy is back to being Piggy.